Today, we are going to take a calm, grounded look at one of the most talked about economic topics in the region, the future of the Iraqi dinar and what is really happening behind the scenes in Iraq's financial system. If you have followed the dinar for years, or if you only recently started paying attention because of headlines or social media posts, this video is meant for you. Not to excite you with bold claims, but to help you understand what actually matters and what does not. There is a lot of noise right now. Short clips, screenshots, half-translated statements, and emotional reactions move faster than facts. That is exactly why it is important to slow down and look at the bigger picture. The Iraqi dinar story is not about a sudden number change. It is about control, trust, and timing, and none of those happen overnight. Over the past few weeks, attention has increased after public comments from Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and ongoing steps taken quietly by the Central Bank of Iraq. Online discussions quickly turned those developments into bold conclusions. Some people are convinced a rate change is imminent. Others believe everything is fake. Both extremes miss the real point. So, today, instead of guessing outcomes, we are going to focus on what Iraq is actually doing, why it matters, and how monetary systems really change in the real world. To understand where Iraq is today, we first need to understand where it has been. For decades, Iraq's economy did not operate like a normal sovereign state. Years of conflict, followed by heavy international sanctions, left the country without full control over its finances. Oil, foreign assets, and even banking activity were monitored and restricted under international frameworks. This long period weakened public confidence, damaged infrastructure, and pushed daily economic life into informal and cash-based systems. The national currency survived, but it did not function as a true symbol of stability or independence. One of the most important milestones in Iraq's recovery was its release from Chapter 7 restrictions under the United Nations. This ended a legal framework that placed Iraq's financial sovereignty under international supervision. That step was not symbolic. It required diplomacy, compliance, and years of effort. But even after leaving Chapter 7, Iraq did not suddenly become financially independent in practice. Political sovereignty and economic sovereignty move at different speeds. Regaining legal status is one thing. Rebuilding trust in banks, regulations, and institutions takes much longer. This is where many people misunderstand the dinar story. A currency is not just paper or digits on a screen. It represents trust in governance, discipline in spending, and the ability to manage shocks. Without those foundations, any exchange rate is fragile. This is why the Central Bank of Iraq plays a far bigger role than rumors about revaluation dates. Over the past several years, the central bank has been working steadily to reshape Iraq's banking environment. Much of this work does not make headlines, but it is essential. Compliance standards have been tightened to meet international anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing rules. Reporting systems have been upgraded. Oversight of private banks has increased. Another major shift has been the push away from an almost entirely cash-based economy. For many years, cash dominated daily life in Iraq. While convenient, it limited transparency and made monetary control extremely difficult. By expanding electronic payments, salary cards, and digital banking services, the central bank is slowly bringing more economic activity into the formal system. This improves traceability, strengthens policy tools, and aligns Iraq with global financial norms. At the same time, Iraq has maintained close coordination with international financial institutions. Technical guidance, audits, and compliance reviews are part of this process. These steps are not exciting, but they are required before any serious currency restructuring can happen. Another key element is Iraq's foreign currency reserves. Today, Iraq holds more than $120 billion in reserves. By global standards, that is a strong position. These reserves support exchange rate stability and reassure international partners. However, there is an important detail many people overlook. Historically, a portion of Iraq's reserves has been managed under protective arrangements abroad. These systems were designed to safeguard assets during periods of instability. While they provided protection, they also reflected limited autonomy. Regaining full and unrestricted control over national reserves is not just technical, it is psychological and strategic. It signals maturity and responsibility to global markets. When markets trust that a country can manage its wealth transparently and consistently, confidence in its currency improves naturally. That confidence cannot be forced through announcements. Recently, Prime Minister al-Sudani spoke publicly about economic reform, currency stability, and national sovereignty. Some online interpretations quickly turned these remarks into specific exchange rate claims. It is important to be very clear here. No officially confirmed public exchange rate change has been announced. What has been reaffirmed is a commitment to protect citizens from inflation, strengthen financial independence, and maintain stability. Responsible leadership does not announce monetary changes casually. Serious currency reform happens through preparation, not pressure. Another topic that often comes up in dinar discussions, the idea of special or contract rates. These concepts are frequently misunderstood. In global banking, large institutional transactions may sometimes involve negotiated terms under strict regulatory frameworks. These are not guaranteed, they are not universal, and they are never advertised publicly. For individuals, the most realistic approach is education and professionalism. Ask informed questions. Understand documentation requirements. Stay compliant. But avoid expectations built on rumors. Banks operate under regulations that can change quickly. No institution is obligated to offer special arrangements. Timing is another area where frustration often appears. From the outside, Iraq's progress can feel slow. But global finance moves cautiously for a reason. Stability is built step by step. Patience is not inaction, it is preparation. Understanding reporting rules, tax obligations, and banking procedures puts you in a stronger position than chasing speculation. As international finance becomes faster and more digital, Iraq's integration into these systems continues. Modern transfer platforms, compliance systems, and clearing mechanisms are replacing older processes. This is not random, it is directional. Iraq is rebuilding credibility, strengthening institutions, and positioning itself within a modern financial structure. These are the conditions that support long-term currency value. Not hype, not promises, not sudden announcements. As we wrap up, remember this: the story of the Iraqi dinar is not a single event. It is a long process of a nation reclaiming authority, rebuilding trust, and re-entering the global economy after decades of limits. When you understand that bigger picture, it becomes easier to stay calm, informed, and realistic. If you found this breakdown helpful, share your thoughts in the comments. This channel is about facts over excitement and clarity over noise. We will continue to watch developments closely and bring updates with context, not exaggeration. Stay informed, stay grounded, and always keep the full picture in mind. Disclaimer: this content is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not financial, legal, or tax advice. Currency markets are unpredictable, and no future exchange rate or policy decision is guaranteed. Always do your own research and consult qualified professionals before making financial decisions.